Imagine the thought of unlimited paid holidays, working whenever you want and having full autonomy over everything you do. Sound like a dream? Welcome to the results-only work environment. Hello, I'm Nick Pryke and you're watching Meet the Boss TV. In this episode, we delve into the world of the ROWE with a company who's already reaping the benefits of putting the power of time back into the hands of its employees. I caught up with brand advocacy agency Let's Go Holdings CEO, Mr. Callum Negus-Fancy, to walk us through exactly how it works and kick things off with what it all practically means.
So the definition of a ROWE, or a results-only work environment, is work wherever you want, whenever you want, as long as the work gets done. The basic premise is all about giving people far more autonomy over the decisions they make, and also far more accountability and responsibility. So people who work in a ROWE environment, they have unlimited paid holidays, they get to work whatever hours they want, as long as the work gets done. I think there are probably two major reasons we moved over to a ROWE. The first is, for a company like ours, 95% of our cost is human capital. So our biggest wasted resource, although very difficult to measure, is human time and human potential. The problem with measuring time is it's a really difficult metric to work with. How do you know how well people are spending their time, what they're doing with it, how productive it is? So we just kind of wanted to forget about time as a metric completely and focus on something you can measure, which is the work people produce. And then in terms of potential, by giving people far more responsibility, you're challenging them far more and you're unlocking that potential far quicker. I think the second reason, it's all about building a strong talent brand. We're after the best talent in the country, and to attract that kind of talent, there's a lot of competition. Because of the way in which ROWE works, people, the sort of top talent, it really appeals to them. So in terms of acquiring them and retaining them, it makes a lot of sense.
Can a ROWE have short-term effects to the bottom line? Should that be on the thought process for companies that are looking to implement a ROWE?
I think the point is that ROWE metrics, the ones we give our employees, they're set on the strategic objectives and the strategic trajectory of our business. So, it's very normal for employees to have a mixture of short-term and long-term metrics depending on our goals. I think the point is that if as a business you've got some really short-term goals, then they would be reflected in the metrics you give people.
Is it a real danger for businesses to employ a ROWE and then retract it from the workforce? Surely that's going to be detrimental in the short term, even the long term.
From my perspective, when you introduce a ROWE, you're basically saying, we trust you enough to manage your own time, and we think you're capable enough to be given a lot of responsibility. So I don't understand how you could really remove a ROWE without sending the signal that you either think your employees are untrustworthy or inept. I think the second thing that we found a lot already is that top talent or just anybody who works hard, the quality of life just goes through the through the roof from being in a ROWE environment. So I think by removing ROWE, suddenly it's like, well, my quality of life's gone again. And we've already had situations where people have turned down, pay rises that have been offered by different companies in order to stay here because of the quality of life.